While a good signal path is of great importance to record a good quality sound, it is not the only factor you need to think of while recording at home. The spot, distance and angle of the microphone from the source makes a huge difference. Welcome to the Neumann Home Studio Academy. I am Meghdeep Bose, and in today's episode, I'm going to tell you how to mic a tabla and a sarangi and how the tone differs with just a minor change in the microphone position. In the previous episode, I told you about the history, playing techniques, and how the environment needs to be considered while recording any instrument. And in this episode, we'll take this a step further. Miking a tabla can be a little tricky in a home setup, but with Neumann TLM 102 or 103, you can do it like a pro. If there's lesser space for a microphone, you can go for a TLM 102 since it's compact. Another key feature of the TLM 102 is that it's a condenser microphone with a very smooth output. It also has a deep but defined low end. Now coming to the mic placement techniques, for mono miking you can use the TLM 102 positioned 3 to 4 inches from the middle of daya and baya for great output. There are a variety of positions you can use to pick up a sound source, mainly being spot, distant, and their angle variations. If the microphone is positioned close to an instrument, it may sound very different versus what it would sound like when placed at a further distance. To mic a sarangi, you can place the microphone a couple of inches away from the instrument at the same level of the bow, pointing to the spot where the bow meets the strings. Even the slightest details of a performance could be captured using a Neumann TLM 103. It has a very smooth output as it has a more gentle presence boost with a deeper, more powerful low end. Well, let's dig deeper into the various techniques of mono recording. Let's start with understanding spot miking technique. This technique is used to create a clear, tight presence sound. Close miking an instrument picks up a higher sound pressure level, SPL what we call, in comparison to that of a distance miking. We'll use the Neumann TLM 102 for this since it's very compact. It is important to realize that microphones should be placed close to the sound source as is necessary, but not too close also. If the microphone is placed too close, the sound wouldn't have enough air around the instrument and hence won't allow it to breathe, which may not be suitable for certain kind of genres. Now let's try the same mic with the angled variation. The angled miking is a popular way of miking the tabla. It's just that instead of facing it perpendicular, we angle it to either chatti or the baya depending on the kind of information we want to retain from the instrument. Angled miking in case of sarangi captures the sound very interestingly. You can achieve various tones either by placing the microphone on the bridge and then angling it to the spot where the bow touches the strings, or just the opposite. So, the angled miking is all about tilting the focus of the microphone towards the desirable area of the instrument and the kind of information you would want to capture. Let's move on to the distant miking. The distance miking involves positioning microphone at around a meter's distance or even more from the intended sound source. However, the distance of the microphone from the source could vary from space to space. The technique is used to preserve tonal balance and add natural ambience to a sound. A natural tone balance will often be achieved by placing the microphone at a distance roughly equal to the size of the instrument or the sound source. The distance miking is often used to capture a large instrument ensemble, such as symphony orchestras. In such a situation, the capture relies upon the integrity of the acoustic environment, and the microphone is placed at a distance such that it strikes an overall balance between ensemble and the environmental acoustics. One single change in the angle or position of the microphone can bring such a considerable amount of change in the sound, just the way we heard it. So, these were the different microphone positions that you can use to record a tabla or a sarangi in your home setups. In the next episode, we will see how different microphones can create stereo images with different recording techniques. Stay tuned.